Welcome back to another Once Human Boss Guide. Today we'll be covering the Mother of Life in LEA. The Mother of Life is the final boss within LEA, and most notably, the hardest boss currently in the game. In order to down the Mother of Life within LEA, it's going to take a great deal of patience and understanding of the fight mechanics. Now, Mother of Life has 5 phases in which you'll have to DPS her down through. Of these 5 phases, the very first phase is by far the easiest, where all you have to do is DPS her down and kill ads up until she becomes immune. Every 20% of Mother of Life's health that is removed causes her to spawn 2 portals that will summon ads. During the first phase, the only ads that you will see are the Deviant Walkers and Throwers, which you'll have to DPS down. Upon depleting the Mother of Life of 40% of her health, the second phase of the fight will begin. During this phase, 2 portals will spawn, and 8 deviants will spawn in the middle of the arena. Subsequently, 2 other portals will spawn on either side of the arena, summoning 2 disciples from within them. Ensuring that you down 1 disciple at a time will help you control how many disciples you have to deal with during this second phase. Once you down a disciple, it will drop a orb. This orb is used to destroy the eggs around the arena. These eggs will then summon a glutton, which will have to DPS down with its corresponding silo. The eggs are marked just like the silos, red to red, white to white. Much like the beginning fight of LEA, you'll want to down the glutton in the corresponding pillar. After doing this 4 times and getting all 4 silos filled, the next phase of the Mother of Life fight will begin. During the third phase of the fight, you'll notice that Mother of Life gains 2 additional attacks. The first of these attacks is a gas cloud in which it will jump up in the air and unleash a pink mist. This mist, however, cannot be seen after it dissipates, but will still inflict damage if you walk through it. The second attack is a barrage. This barrage, if it hits you, can deal a great amount of damage. The identifying marker for the barrage is when the Mother of Life begins to dance through the air. Watching her furthest action could determine whether you live or die during this fight. At around 50%, 2 more portals will open up behind the Mother of Life. Like with the previous phase, more deviants will be summoned from these portals. However, with these portals, you also receive 2 new ads, which we call dogs. Learning how to maintain control of the dogs as they're spawned is detrimental in survivability of your character during this fight. Once you get the Mother of Life to around 30%, this is when the real fight actually begins. During this phase, you'll again have to deal with the dogs and deviants coming from the portals in the center of the arena. Just like phase 2, 2 portals open on the outside of the arena, summoning 2 more disciples. This then becomes a rinse and repeat of the second phase. However, at this point, you now have a third type of silo to encase your gluttons in. As you can see here, there is now an egg with a pulsating lightning around it. This is the lightning glutton, which you'll have to use within the lightning silos of this phase. The reason this phase is so difficult is now not only do you have the disciples to deal with and the ads to deal with, but you also have to deal with the Mother of Life's barrage and poison cloud while doing this entire fight. Once you are able to master getting these 3 processes done together, you'll have no issue destroying the Mother of Life and winning at LEA. During the last and final phase of the fight, you'll need to deal with ads spawning on the outside of the arena on the 4 pillars. These ads will be flyers as well as machine gunners, which can cause quite an issue for you if they're not maintained. Some key notes and key items to think about during this fight. The eggs, when you destroy them, have a rotation. It starts from fire to lightning to ice. Knowing this pattern will allow you to plan ahead on when to destroy an egg for the phase. Some important items you'll want to bring to the fight include living armor, the weaver, and smoke grenades. Living armor activates when your HP drops below 20%, recovering 100% of your HP within 5 seconds. Now, this can only happen once every 10 minutes, but it can get you out of a tight spot when needed. The weaver will allow you to roll away from enemies, creating a spider web on the ground, which chains them in place. The most important, I believe, is the smoke grenade, or as it's labeled in game, the smoke bomb. This, upon activation, releases a dense cloud of smoke for 30 seconds, providing immediate cover and bewildering enemies. This last item is very important because it allows you to evade a lot of mechanics that are within the fight, such as her barrage, and also makes it to where the enemies are not swarming you. During my solo fight with the Mother of Life, I used roughly 40 smoke grenades or smoke bombs within the entire fight to complete it. That is all for our tips and tricks. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And if this video helped you, please hit the subscribe button or tune in over at twitch.tv/Mufasa for live, up to date information on Once Human.